The ECHL All-Stars have been named. We'll run down the list. One team is setting its sights on a league record, but they still have some work to do, while another team has a very challenging stretch ahead. Hope you're excited about that ringside seat, because you've got a great vantage point for this edition of ECHL Week.
Hi, welcome to another edition of ECHL Week. This time we come to you from the Santander Arena in Reading, Pennsylvania, home of the Reading Royals. We get today's show started with a look at the Eastern and Western Conference All-Star teams for the 2020 ECHL All-Star Classic. 68 players who have played in an ECHL All-Star event have gone on to play in the NHL, including 52 since 2002, when the lineups began having players who coaches felt were prospects to move to higher levels. The Eastern Conference All-Stars are goaltender Parker Milner of South Carolina. He has the best goals against average in the league. The defenseman, Michael Brodzinski of Orlando. He's tied for 8th in league scoring among defensemen. Joseph Duszak of Newfoundland. The rookie is tied for 3rd in blue line scoring. TJ Melanson of Brampton. He's tied for the team lead with 9 power play assists. Logan Rowe of Florida, the top scoring defenseman in the ECHL. The forwards are Roman Amarato of Norfolk. He's tied for the team lead in scoring despite playing in only 24 games. Ralph Kudemi of Reading. He spent considerable time in the American Hockey League this season. Jake Elmer of Maine. He's the top scoring rookie on the Mariners. Tommy Marchin of Atlanta. Another rookie, he's 3rd on his team in scoring. Robbie Payne of Adirondack. Also a first-year player, he's tied for the team lead in points. Liam Pecoraro of Greenville. He's in the AHL now and still leading the Swamp Rabbits in points. Jordan Samuels-Thomas of Worcester. He leads the ECHL in shorthanded points and is pacing the Railers in total points. And Brendan Morin of Jacksonville. He's the top rookie scorer for the Icemen. The Western Conference All-Stars are goaltender Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen of Cincinnati. He's 3rd in the league in goals against average. The defensemen are Brady Norris of Idaho. In his 2nd year with the Steelheads, he played 13 games in the AHL last season. Taylor Richard of Utah is number 1 among the Grizzlies' defensemen in scoring. And Justin Woods of Kansas City, the Mavericks' top scoring blue liner. The forwards are Cam Brown of Wheeling, 2nd on the team in scoring, and he leads the Nailers in plus-minus. Josh Kestner of Toledo, who's tied for 8th in the ECHL in points. J.J. Pikanich of Tulsa, he leads the Oilers in scoring, and that includes 23 assists. Peter Quenville of Rapid City, he's tied for 5th in league scoring. Dylan Sadoway of Kalamazoo, he leads the Wings in scoring and is in the top 20 in the ECHL. Tyler Sheehy of Allen, he's tied for the ECHL scoring lead. Sean Santamon of Fort Wayne is tied for his team's lead in goals. And Spencer Watson of Indy is the ECHL's first 20-goal scorer this season. Rosters for the Eastern Conference and Western Conference All-Stars were determined in a vote of coaches, team captains, media relations directors, broadcasters, and members of the media. We'll have late changes to the rosters on next week's show.
News from around the league and more about the All-Star Classic straight ahead on ECHL Week.
NHL players have amazing talent, and some of the very best developed right here in the ECHL.
Reeves for the wrist shot and scores!
Now, follow all your favorite ECHL alumni every night on NHL Network's primetime hockey show, NHL Tonight.
Both teams recognize how big this matchup is.
Fire save by Dubin. Rebound! Goosebump stuff.
NHL Tonight, every night 6 Eastern on NHL Network.
I'm Logan Rowe of the Florida Everblades, and you're watching ECHL Week.
At news from around the ECHL, we take a look at the defending Kelly Cup champions who are on a real roll at home. Mile One Center has been a good home to the Newfoundland Growlers, so much so that the Growlers have carved out a place in the ECHL record book. With 14 consecutive home victories, Newfoundland has moved into a tie for 4th place in league history. The 14th straight win in overtime against Adirondack on January 4th marked the first time since March of 2008 that a team had reached that number. The Growlers will try to become the first team with 15 home wins in a row since March of 2000 when they take on Kansas City on January 14th. If Roald Dahl's quote is correct, the Maine Mariners will be giddy the next 2 weeks. The nature of the ECHL means every team endures tough portions of the schedule. As a result of a withdrawal from the league late in the schedule-making process, several teams, especially in the North Division, have had some challenges this season. As difficult as any is the one the Mariners are preparing to face in January.
At the end of the day, it's the cards that we're dealt. With 8 games in 10 days, and just hoping that, we can get through it healthy. But at the same time, it's up to me on finding times where we're going to practice, what we're going to do in our morning skates, what days we'll have off, and trying to find the rest that the guys need.
I just try and do the same thing kind of for every game. I mean, obviously when you're playing that many games, rest and recovery is that much more important. So just eating the right foods, the right liquids, the right amount of sleep, and just being a pro overall.
I like to just stay even-keeled throughout the course of the season. I even talked to the team about not getting too high or too low. And, there's when you play, for an example, 8 games in 10 days, if you can just stay even through that and kind of keep a level head, hopefully it pays off towards the end.
Hi, I'm Brady Norris of the Idaho Steelheads, and you're watching ECHL Week.
We've already met the players. Now let's take a look at the rest of the All-Star Classic personnel. A longtime veteran and a rookie will be behind the benches for the 2 conference teams in the upcoming All-Star Classic. Steve Martinson, the only ECHL coach the Allen Americans have ever had, will be directing the Western Conference. Martinson, who has more than 750 ECHL games under his coaching belt, 6th most in league history, earned the honor as a result of the Americans having the top winning percentage in the conference as of December 22nd. Leading the Eastern All-Stars will be Steve Bergen in his first season behind the bench of the conference-leading South Carolina Stingrays. Bergen had been the team's assistant for 3 years and has seamlessly moved into the top spot this season. Nick Potter of the Kansas City Mavericks will be the athletic trainer for the All-Stars. Potter is in his 5th year with the Mavs. He'll be joined in Wichita by South Carolina equipment manager Cameron Parker, who's in his 4th season working with the Stingrays. Wearing the orange armbands during the All-Star Classic will be Andrew Bruggeman, currently in his 4th ECHL season, along with Sean McFarland, who's in his 3rd year in the ECHL. Both of these referees worked in the Kelly Cup Finals last season. The linesman will be Chuck Schammel in his 6th year with the league, along with Christopher Williams, who's in his 3rd full-time season in the ECHL and 4th overall. ECHL fans tuning into the telecast of the All-Star Classic on NHL Network will likely be familiar with the announcers who will be calling the action. The longtime voices of both the Allen Americans and Wichita Thunder, Tommy Daniels and Jason Miles, will be joined by former Detroit Red Wings and New York Rangers executive Neil Smith, who's also a former owner of ECHL teams in both Johnstown, Pennsylvania and Greenville, and has contributed to the ECHL All-Star broadcasts often over the last decade. Rosters for both teams representing the host Wichita Thunder, as well as format details for the All-Star Classic, will appear on our next show.
A right-down-to-the-wire highlight game featuring a pair of South Division teams is next on ECHL Week.
Oh, great presentation, Tim. Could you email me the part about Geico, making it easy to switch and save hundreds?
Oh, yeah, sure.
You don't know my name, do you?
Of course I know your name. I just get you mixed up with the other guy. What's his name? What's your name?
Switch to Geico. You could save 15% or more on car insurance.
Could you just tell me? I want this to be over.
Hi, I'm Cam Brown of the Wheeling Nailers, and you're watching ECHL Week.
We go to the South Division for today's highlight game. Takes you right to the end. It's a good one. Check it out.
Greenville in the midst of a messy change right now, but they get through with it anyway. Ahead, fires the puck in, takes a strange bounce. Thank you very much. Patrick Bykov. Johnny on the spot on a strange bounce off the end wall. Rowe towards the point, held in somehow by Patrick McCarron. Stick handles away from Baptista. Backhand centering pass and a slam dunk for Blake Winicky. Slap pass across ice, a bit too strong for Patrick McCarron. Takes in the far wing corner. McCarron centers, Rowe is open, shoots, he scores. Steps it over the line again for Greenville. Perkovich drops it, Beauvais shoots it, and it goes in, they score! Baptista pirouettes in space, gets it to the blue line. Manfredo, a shot tipped, they score! Nathan Perkovich got the touch on that one. Magwood gets it out of the pile, 30 left on the kill. Schaus away from traffic, back across ice. Shot by Magwood, he scores! Down to the final 10, Manfredo checked, Auger gives it, Winicky is a man in front, the pass misfired, tried it again, in front, they score! And the tie-up for it, battle to the corner, Bykov's got it with 10 to the point, Rockwood shoots, tip, save, rebound, score! Foggett lost the puck in his skates, and John McCarron is gone. He's got a partial breakaway down the right side, dangles to the backhand and scores.
That wraps up another edition of ECHL Week from Reading, Pennsylvania. Thanks for watching. Make sure to follow us on all our social media channels. We've got a lot of them. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, even our own podcast on SoundCloud. Check them all out. Make sure to keep you up to date on everything that's going on throughout the ECHL. See you next time.